present brain drain in Africa is becoming so huge, it's becoming so magnanimous that it is projected that in the next few years, 2050 to be precise, that Africa will be left with next to nothing in terms of human capacity to develop the country, because the rate at which people are jackpotting from African countries, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, South Africa, name those countries, the rate at which they are going to the first world countries now, Canada, US, Australia, UK, and the rest of them, is becoming so huge that it will definitely have an adverse effect on African as a continent. So in this video today, I'll be going through this, and also I also welcome your own comment in the comment section. Let's talk about this together and let's see how we can actually mitigate this together. Okay, viewers, so welcome to my YouTube channel. I still remember my own self, MC Bernardino. This is Canada Reality. We dish out content for those that are already in Canada and those that has plans to come into Canada. Is this the first time on this YouTube channel? Please do me the honor, hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that anytime I drop a video, you always be among the first to get it. For our returning viewers, thank you very much. God bless you. According to United Nations, it was estimated that from 2010 to 2020, that's really a gap of 10 years, the immigration from Africans to the diaspora has increased by 30%. That is roughly 30 million Africans left Africa from 2010 to 2020. That is huge. That is alarming. And those that are living are not just anyhow people. They are technocrats. They are professionals in their own field. They are living these African countries and they are seeking better lives for themselves in foreign land. I mean, for them personally, it might be good, but for Africa as a continent, for those countries that are losing them, it is not really good. And that's what I want to throw more light into in this segment. Let's take Canada as our first case study. According to the Canadian Census of 2021, data shows growing African populations from Nigeria, which according to statistical data shows 109,000, Ethiopia over 43,000, DRC over 37,000, Cameroon over 33,000, Somalia 32,285, Eritrea over 31,000, and Ghana stood at 28,420. So that is the statistics based on the Canadian census that was done in 2021 of the number of Africans that are presently in Canada. That was as of 2021. So now let's look at the American census too, and let's see the rate at which Africans are moving to United States of America. So in 2019, around 2.1 million immigrants from sub-Saharan Africa reside in the US. A 16-fold increase since 1980. Yeah, and now 5% of the total US foreign-born population of 44.9 million people. 53% come from Nigeria, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, and Somalia. So as you can see, this is just to lay a premise of the rate at which people are actually jackpotting. That's the slang we use back home. People are actually migrating from Africa to foreign land. I mean, I won't blame them, because part of me, even me that I'm even in front of you, I'm also a product of that jackpot system. I jackpot way back 10 years ago when I saw that things were not gloomy and I want to seek a better life for myself and for my family. So I'm not going to blame people, but the fundamental cause of this cannot be far-fetched. This can be traced back to poor leadership back home, corruption, nepotism, name it. It calls across all Africans, all African nation. I mean, I'll take a case study of my country, Nigeria. The corruption there. I mean, it's not a crime that you probably go to school, probably finish college, finish university, and you'll get a job. But at the end of the day, the job that you get might not be commensurate, might not be able to fend for yourself. You might be able to cater for yourself, talk more of raising up a family. In addition to these two, some that are even fortunate to get a job after they're done schooling. The security system back home is not something that is actually welcoming. I mean, when there's poverty in the land, poverty ravaging, so among you that are probably living average, you're not so rich, among your contemporaries, they see you as a mini god, and your security will probably be jeopardized because anything can happen to you. Those are some of the reasons why some people felt that, oh my God, why not just take my baggage and leave my country and probably seek for a foreign land where my security can be forestalled. So everything still boils down to government. I mean, that's my field, that's my take. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Everything's still finished at the doorstep of the government of these African countries, because the ravaging poverty in Africa is pushing people into crime, is pushing people to do some draconian things that they are not supposed to do. And when people have the opportunity to, to travel to foreign land to seek a better life for themselves, for their family, for their kids, they want to take it at the slightest opportunity. I'll take a case study of my country, Nigeria. You don't have to be rich in order for you to travel to foreign land. I mean, average family, poor family, once they can add one or two together, they can raise the limited fund, they prefer to actually just send their kids to foreign land because that gives them joy instead of them seeing that kid instead of them seeing that child suffering back home, struggling to make ends meet, insecurity, loss of life, illness, and the rest of them. So people would rather just sell all the properties they have and decide to travel. So that is the fundamental reason why people are leaving African countries and are traveling to foreign land. So I think in order for us to actually resolve this, we need to start with our government. If government can actually put a better system in place whereby we can reduce poverty in the land, create more employment, available resources that we have in Africa. Africa is blessed because we have numerous resources, but it is poor management, maladministration that is causing the abject poverty that is ravaging the land. And that's why people will continue to migrate from Africa into the foreign land. So when we lose these people, we are losing doctors, we are losing lawyers, we are losing engineers, we are losing different professionals that are supposed to stay back home and help in the development of Africa. I'll take a case study of Canada once again. Canada Express Entry, provincial nominee, all these systems that are actually geared towards taking all the brains, all the best brains in Africa or all over the world, wherever they are coming from, into Canada. I remember when I was growing up, my dad used to tell me that people actually go abroad to come and study, and people also come from abroad to also Africa to come and study too. But when people go abroad to come and study, in most cases, they always come back because there are jobs that are available for them to actually launch their career. But nowadays, when people go to this foreign land, they do not want to come back. Even if they are not wealthy in the foreign land, even if they are struggling to pay their bills in foreign land, they would rather remain there than for them to come back home because probably they've lived all their lives back home and they've discovered that there's nothing much for them back home. They would rather just come, they would rather just remain in foreign land and continue to live their life. So, and you know, when a continent, when a nation is losing its doctors, is losing its engineers, is basically losing all its professionals, then it's probably going to have an adverse effect on the economy of the country and the continent as a whole. By extension, now let us look at the United Kingdom and see the rate at which people are also leaving Africa and are also going to the United Kingdom. Let's take their statistics. So according to the United Home Office data, over 330,000 visas were issued to sub-Saharan African nationals in 2019, which was an increase of 95,000 compared to 2016. Working visa data ending in September 2023 shows over 73,000 visa granted to Nigerians alone. So this Canada, so obviously you can see that United Kingdom is also not left out. I mean, I know in the last 2-3 years, the influx of Africa into the United Kingdom was so huge that it got to the point the United Kingdom had to put a stop to that system that allows you to come and study there and likewise bring your partner and also bring your kids, because their expectation was that in the next 10 years they have a target to meet, but they discovered that in the last 2-3 years they've met their target and they've actually exceeded it. So that was why they put a stop to it. So that means that at the slightest opportunities that Africans have, they want to leave the system. Once again, I said it that, I mean, in order for you to travel from back home, from Africa to the Western world, you don't have to be rich. People, I mean, I know people that are average, people that are poor. All they need is just sell their resources, get loan if they need to get loan, and just travel. I know some few people that are in Canada presently that had to sell their properties, had to get loan, and are actually repaying some of those loans as they are working in Canada. All right, so according to the World Health Organization, let's look at the statistics that they gave of the brain drains, the professionals that finish their studies in Africa or they leave their career in Africa and travel to the Western world. So the data shows that Egyptian data shows around 9,000 medical students graduate from the Egyptian university, but 65% go to work abroad. In Nigeria, there is now one doctor for every 5,000 patients compared to the one in 256 ratio in developing countries. Around 9,000 doctors moved to the UK, the US, and Canada between 2016 and 2018. More than 75,000 nurses have left Nigeria since 2017. The World Health Organization believes the sub-Saharan African healthcare crisis will intensify, and the region will shut 5.3 million health workers by 2030. All right, so what you see now, putting it into context now, in Nigeria now, they are looking at the ratio of one nurse to 5,000 patients. That's so stupid, that's so crazy. In the foreign land, it's 1 to 254. I mean, but in Africa, is the rate is so unheard of. And likewise, too, it was also seen that in Nigeria alone, over 75,000 medical practitioners left from 2016 up until 2018. That is a huge deficiency. We might not see the impact right there, but over time, in the next few years, if that doesn't stop, if those brain drains are not being replenished, then it's disastrous for Africa as a whole, and also for Nigeria in particular. So this is not just about the medical field, it cuts across all the professional fields that are the brain drain cut across all the professional fields. In Nigeria alone, I know so many bankers that have left their profession, they've resigned. I mean, there was this particular branch that I heard of, one of these big banks back home, that all the employee of the particular branch, they traveled within 1 year and all of them went into the diaspora. So that is good for them, they want to say, but for a country, for a continent, it is not the best. All right, so let's look at generally the adverse effect of this. I mean, will this trend continue? This trend is projected to actually continue. The present population of Africa is stood at 1.3 billion, and it is estimated that by 2050, that the population of Africa will rise from 1.3 billion to 2.5 billion. So if they rise to 2.5 billion and there are no professionals in the system to actually balance this system, the population of Africa will just continue to grow, and there's going to be a high rate of poverty in the land of Africa. So what can be done? I mean, I've stated it earlier. The government, the president, the leaders of African nation, they need to actually do better in terms of leadership. They actually manage the resources of Africa very well. They need to actually create employment in Africa. They need to reduce the poverty. They need to increase the education. They need to actually make the resources spread around, because those are the only ways that can actually make Africa develop, and also can make some of us that are in the diaspora to also want to come back. Of a truth, I know so many Africans that are in Canada that I've spoken to that said, left for the weather alone, they want to go back to Nigeria, they want to go back to Ghana, they want to go back to their African countries. But it is because when they go back, they have to struggle in terms of feeding, they have to struggle in terms of getting a good job. Security system cannot be forestalled. So those are the things that are hindering them from coming back home. But if the government can actually do better in these areas for African countries, there are a lot of people that are back home, nurses, doctors, there are a lot of technocrats, there are a lot of professionals that are in the diasporas that are willing to come back home and come and contribute their quota into the development of Africa. All right, viewers, this is where I'll be putting a stop to this. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Do you think that this trend is actually beneficial to Africa? If otherwise, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I mean, I would like to read what your comment is all about. And likewise, please share this video with whoever you feel will also benefit from it. And hit on the likes button, because those are the ways that YouTube helps to share a video with more people. So like, see you in my next video. Don't forget that Africa is blessed. Africa is the best. Let's work together towards building it.